Last year, Japan recorded its lowest birth rate since it started keeping records. Declining fertility, matched with an ageing population, is reducing the size of the labour force there and leaving some people at a loss as to who to pass on family businesses to. In Japan, inheriting companies is steeped and a solid tradition, that so much so that many are now adopting grown men to take over their businesses. It includes some major conglomerates like Suzuki Motors.
Chieko Date is a matchmaker who's prepared to do whatever it takes to succeed. Today, she's travelled from Tokyo to Fukuyama, more than 400 miles away, to accompany her male client in his quest for love. But when she quizzes him about his qualities, it sounds less like preparation for a date than for a job interview.
How do you think you could help this clinic?
This is a local clinic, so we should emphasize that and mention that it has accomplished a lot over a very long period of time.
Kazue Fuji is seeking a husband, but he must have one important qualification: the ability to run her father's clinic after he retires. If Yoda performs well at this interview and ends up marrying Fuji, he'll be legally adopted by his in-laws.
I worked hard to build this clinic, but I don't know how long I can continue working. So I do need a successor.
My parents have two daughters, so as the eldest, I naturally wanted to become a doctor so I could help my father. The problem was I wasn't smart enough to continue studying medicine, so I gave up. Now I have no choice but to marry someone who can take over the running of the clinic.
About 80,000 men are adopted every year in Japan by families who run businesses but have no male heir. That's a problem, since traditionally businesses are inherited by men. The phenomenon, known as mukoyoushi, has been around for centuries, and it's still popular today. So much so that Date has built her agency around bringing together heirless families and prospective adoption candidates.
Japan's fertility rate is falling dramatically. Today, more and more families have only daughters. They spend their whole lives being told that they have to marry a mukoyoushi. So when they become adults, they feel under pressure to do so.
Even big family-run conglomerates that find themselves without a male heir have survived after adopting a male successor. Osamu Suzuki, the chairman of Suzuki Motors, is among them. But for Mariko Fujiwara, the system is proof that Japan remains a male-dominated society.
The phenomenon of mukoyoushi reflects a division of labor by gender, which is a traditional thinking in the Japanese society, because they would rather have a son-in-law to carry on the business than their own daughter. And true, parents may not have exercised the strategies to educate their daughters to become successful business women.
In rural Japan, adopting men is helping address the shortage of young farmers. Hisamitsu Tannai, who has 4 siblings, decided to join the ranks of the mukoyoushi 2 years ago, marrying a woman whose family run a dairy farm. He moved a long distance from his home and took his wife's family name.
My
wife's father died before I arrived, and her mother is getting old. I don't think my wife and her mother could have managed to run such a big farm on their own. That's why I'm here.
The couple, who have a 2-year-old son, look like any other family. But being adopted as an adult comes with responsibilities. As well as caring for dozens of dairy cows, Hisamitsu has accepted that this must be a lifelong commitment.
I am now a member of the Hitomi family, so it's only natural that my ashes will be interred alongside the other members of the family. They welcomed me into their family, and families have to stay together, right to the very end.
The number of births in Japan dipped below 1 million for the first time last year, and more than a quarter of the country's population is aged 65 or over. That means the search for adopted male heirs like Hisamitsu is likely to continue for many decades to come.